Visitacion Valley. There's a good chance you've heard the name before, but have you actually been there? If you haven't, then you're really missing out. It's one of the most underrated, underpriced, and community-driven neighborhoods in the entire city. Today, we're going deep on Viz Valley. I'm gonna break down everything you need to know about what it's like to actually live here. Here's what we're gonna cover for today. Food and drink, lifestyle and atmosphere, parks and green space, schools and community services, shopping and everyday essentials, and transportation. At the end, I'll give you my honest take about the real estate here and who this neighborhood is actually a great fit for. Hey everyone, by the way, if you don't know me, my name's Epstein and I'm a lifelong San Franciscan and realtor here in the Bay Area. If you're looking to buy, sell, invest, or even rent a property in or near San Francisco, I'd be more than happy to help you. Please don't hesitate to contact me at the information below. And with that, let's get back into the video. Okay, first we're gonna talk about the neighborhood overview and location. So where is Viz Valley and what kind of neighborhood are we actually talking about? Viz Valley sits at the southeastern part of San Francisco. It's nestled between McLaren Park, which sits to its north and west, Daly City and Brisbane to its south, and the Bayview to its east. The main corridors here are Leland Avenue, Visitacion Avenue, and Bayshore Boulevard. These are the streets in the neighborhood where daily life actually happens. Here's how I would characterize the neighborhood in a few words. It's working class, family-oriented, and multicultural. The neighborhood tends to operate at its own pace. It's definitely not trying to be trendy. You won't find a coffee shop on every corner. What it does have is real community. And in San Francisco, that's increasingly rare. In the housing stock, you'll find a mix of single-family homes, small multifamily buildings, and some newer developments. The homes here tend to have more space than other neighborhoods in San Francisco, so you might get a garage, small yard, and even a driveway in many cases. If you've been shopping around neighborhoods like Glen Park or Noe Valley and feel like you're kind of getting squeezed from a size standpoint, then you might want to look here in Viz Valley. Okay, up next, we're going to talk about the community's food and drink scene. Okay, now this is always one of the most important quality of life factors. Okay, so right on Leland Avenue, you have Luyen Fat Bakery and Restaurant. This is the kind of spot that's been feeding the neighborhood for years. I haven't been, but it looks like it has all your classic Chinese bakery fare. All the baked goods, pastries, and hot food your tummy can desire. Yum. This seems like the kind of place for when you get your breakfast or lunch. Whether you've been there one time or 15 times, you'll just feel like a regular. You've also got San Marcos Restaurant, which serves Mexican and Guatemalan food. This is a great example of what makes southern neighborhoods in San Francisco so unique. Here you get Central American cuisine that actually reflects some of the residents that live in the area. Now it's not a fusion restaurant and it's not something that opened because the neighborhood was getting gentrified. On the contrary, it's real food from a real community. If you haven't had Guatemalan food, this might be a good place to start. And I should probably take my own advice because I haven't eaten much Guatemalan food and I still haven't been here. Now here's something important that you want to understand to get the full picture of the neighborhood. Viz Valley is less than 10 minutes away from two major food corridors that would affect your daily life if you were living here. The Mission Street corridor through the outer Mission is packed with restaurants, and they are incredibly good with a wide variety of options. Now that's available to the west, but even closer, just to your north, you have a ton of options on Silver Avenue. So while the neighborhood's immediate commercial strip is more neighborhood focused, you're not isolated whatsoever. Here, you have access to a ton of dining options via a short drive or bus ride. For a neighborhood at this price point, the food access is very strong. Okay, up next, we're gonna talk about the lifestyle and atmosphere within the neighborhood. Okay, so let's talk about what it actually feels like to live in this area. This is where many neighborhoods either win you or lose you. The first thing I would like to point to are the murals. There is some public art scattered throughout the neighborhood. You can find them on building walls and across commercial corridors. Now, this is consistent amongst much of the working class and multicultural communities. The murals here aren't just decorative, but rather expressions of the communities that live there. They tell you something real about the people that call this home. Now, the residential streets here are quiet. This is not a neighborhood with a loud bar scene or foot night traffic. If you're coming from somewhere like the Mission or Castro and are looking for something a bit more quiet, this neighborhood will feel like a completely different world. Here, you have that slower, more grounded quality of life that you might associate with a suburb. The green space also contributes to that feeling, but it's great because you're actually in San Francisco proper. Visually, when you're walking or driving through the neighborhood, you'll be aware of greenery in a way that you're not in denser parts of the city. Again, the character here is working class, multicultural, and family oriented. This is the reality here, and if that appeals to you, then you're gonna fit right in and it's gonna feel like home. By the way, if you've ever visited Viz Valley and have any thoughts on the neighborhood, Let me know down in the comments below what you thought. I'm always curious what people's experiences are. Okay, so up next, we're gonna talk about the neighborhood's parks, recreation, and green space. This is one of the neighborhood's strongest selling points, and most people don't even know. The big one here is McLaren Park. This is the second largest park in San Francisco. It spans over 300 acres, and many people that don't live in the neighborhood don't even know about it. While everyone is crowding into Dolores Park on a weekend, McLaren Park is right there. It has hiking trails, playgrounds, open fields, tennis courts, and the Jerry Garcia Amphitheater, which has free concerts over the summer. If you like outdoor space and don't want to feel crowded, McLaren Park is for you. Living in Vis Valley puts you right at its edge. Within the neighborhood itself, you have a couple community parks that serve its residents. These are the kind of spaces where families gather, kids play after school, and you feel the community presence that defines the neighborhood. My favorite is the Visitacion Valley Greenway. This is a linear green corridor that runs through the neighborhood. And the Greenway is actually activated public space. It gives the neighborhood a pedestrian spine that many other places within this price range don't have. If outdoor access matters to you, and for many buyers it's at the top of the list, then Visitacion Valley is a great choice. Okay, up next we're going to speak about schools and community services. The neighborhood school anchor here is Visitacion Valley School. Clever name, am I right? All jokes aside, having a school embedded in the neighborhood's fabric matters a lot, especially for families who want that walkability. The Visitacion Valley Branch Library is another important piece of the picture here. Having a local library branch is great, especially for families with kids. Many neighborhoods lack this or have to share it with their adjacent neighbors. Lastly, here you have the Visitacion Valley Community Center. This is the hub for all your neighborhood programming. Think classes, events, and recreational activities. It's the kind of facility that tells you a lot about how the neighborhood actually functions as a community. The community center is a big part of that. The school, library, and community center, amongst other things, are reasons to take this neighborhood seriously. Okay, now up next, we're gonna talk about shopping and everyday essentials. Right in the neighborhood, you have Grocery Outlet on Luyen Avenue. If you've ever shopped here, you know what it's about. But if you haven't, here's the short version. It's a discount grocery store chain that holds all your brand name products at discounted rates. It's not a fancy store by any stretch of the imagination, but for those who want to get their necessities met, it's a great store with great pricing. For a larger, full-service grocery store, you have Foods Co. just here north near Silver Avenue. And if you're heading south close to Daly City, which you inevitably will because of how close it is, then you can check out something like Ranch 99. Overall, the Leland Avenue commercial strip will carry most of your everyday essentials. After all, it's a neighborhood-scale commercial strip. It's practical and it has all your working neighborhood retail. It does exactly what it's intended to do. Okay, now to round things off, we're gonna talk about transportation and commute. Okay, let's talk about getting around here because the neighborhood is so far south that many people assume it's isolated, but it's really not. The most significant piece of transit infrastructure that serves the neighborhood is the T-Muni light rail line. This connects you directly to Caltrain at 4th and King, or to Mission Bay, or even to downtown. If you work in or near any of these areas, you can easily go there without a car. Now from a bus perspective, you have the 8, 9, and 29 lines that serve the neighborhood. Between the 3 bus lines and the light rail option, you have legitimate car-free transit options by living in this area. Now, if you do drive, and many Visitacion Valley residents do, then the neighborhood actually works in your favor. Both Bayshore Boulevard and Geneva Avenue are both major arterials that get you moving quickly. You also have very easy access to 101. For anyone trying to go due north or near the peninsula, being this close to the freeway is genuinely an advantage. Here, you're not fighting your way out of the city as if you were living in a more central neighborhood. And here's something that's super important to many people. Street parking here is relatively easy. I would say very easy, depending on where in the neighborhood, especially if you're comparing to other more popular neighborhoods. Here, you shouldn't be circling for 30 minutes trying to find a spot like you might in the Castro or Noe Valley. If you have a car here, you should be able to park it without any major issues. Okay, now, so let's bring it home and wrap it up. Visitacion Valley should be on your list if you're a family looking for space, community infrastructure, access to a large park, and a neighborhood that still has a strong local identity, then this should definitely be on your list. Similarly, you should have a look if you're a first-time homebuyer and have been priced out of the Mission, Glen Park, or Bernal Heights. Here, you might be able to afford a single-family home without stretching yourself to your absolute limit. And if you want a quiet, livable neighborhood where you know your neighbors and don't feel like you're in a city that doesn't know you exist, then this is it. Now, Vis Valley is not a neighborhood where you're gonna have that buzzing restaurant scene scene or crazy nightlife district. The commercial strips here are practical, but not super exciting. That's the trade-off here, and you should know that going in. And if you're the right buyer, and I think that there are a lot of buyers who haven't looked here yet, then Visitacion Valley offers you something that's genuinely rare in San Francisco. Value, space, community, and green space all in the same area. Okay, if you want to talk through whether Visitacion Valley matches your criteria, please feel free to reach out to me. I'd be more than happy to help you. If you found this video helpful, it would mean the world to me if you could like, comment, and subscribe. The best way you could support me is actually by sharing this video with your friends or family who might find it useful. Now that's gonna do it for this video. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye now.